There is a certain traversing architectural identity through the individual and the collective, through the past and the present. Sana is made up of two distinct personalities, but together they do not clash in ideas, but instead reinforce their design philosophies into something much, much more refined and unique. Sana aims to build a new paradigm of sorts. The distinctive, abstract, minimalistic spaces expose the true essence of architecture. Not the building itself, but the social interactions and interpretations that occur inside it.
Kazuo Sejima and Rui Nishizawa of the architectural practice Sana, we invited to design the pavilion in 2009.
One thing which is we feel exciting to try is creating even more light, even more transparent architecture.
One of the goals at the outset was not to make a building, to make something, like a little intervention, if you will.
But quite often it's quite clear where the edge is. And if you really go to this year's Serpentine, it's very difficult to really sense where the edge of the building is.
And sometimes people feel continuity, sometimes some a little bit definitive area, or also the people feel also can see the moving of the whole mixed in this.
Architecture with no walls will allow everybody to come out from all around, which can give the definition of freedom, like park. This is one thing that we wanted to achieve.
Kazuo Sejima, the feminine half of the internationally acclaimed designer duo, whispered her way into the architectural landscape but managed to become one of the industry's most important practitioners in the process. Architecture is full of roaring egos as big as the buildings it creates, and Kazuo Sejima isn't one of them. Her initial projects highlighted a new light architecture, a lightness that implied a liberation from all conventional architectural notions. Of course, the style present in those houses have little similarities with the style we know Sejima for today. Kazuo Sejima is a new type of architect. It is perhaps because her concept of architecture differs totally from that of previous architects that we realize just how novel she is. There is absolutely no sense of historical continuity in the way she conceives architecture. Her expression is pure, simple, and geometrical. If there is one way that best describes the spirit of her structures, it would be to say that it is diagram architecture. In other words, that according to her, a building is ultimately the equivalent of the diagram of the space used to abstractedly describe the mundane activities presupposed by the structure. Sejima's architecture represents an innovative step in architecture regarding the exploring of material of the 21st century. Through materiality, Sejima creates atmospheres that are pure and clean, atmospheres which only take shape when people enter them. Abstraction, geometric precision, and the unconventional boundaries are all features that ultimately define the Pritzker Prize winner. 風に
Happy birthday.
Not like that.
Sana is two people. Rui Nishizawa, possible former lover, ex-colleague at Ito's office, and current partner to Miss Sejima, is a man who is best known for always integrating his project into natural surroundings. His methodology involves a big number of diagrams, drawings, studies, and models. Nishizawa exemplifies the architecture of landscape, explaining that architecture should blur the boundaries between its structure and the surrounding site, where the architectural concept is encouraged to transcend the building's dual dimension and extend towards the landscape. His architecture accentuates nature and directs human perception to it. Nishizawa uses obviously artificial building elements rather than mimicking natural forms or applying natural camouflage to the building with wood or stone.
Could you tell us about the importance of white in your designs?
Many people say your building is white, but white is very normal color. For example, this is white. So, but maybe our building, I try to make no hierarchy. That means also try to make the free circulation. So that means we avoid the hierarchy. To avoid the hierarchy, that means we try to bring the light everywhere. Try to make not big contrast, but more try to diffuse the light. That means the people feel white. This is maybe the result, so I think.
Can you tell us about your concept of public space?
Yes, I think the one of the road which I think the building can do is to make a physical space where the people can stay together. The different type of people can share the time together. This is the kind of I think the public space. Actually, people have different ideas or different preference. That's why it's very interesting. People stay together, but we must find some idea, different type of people can stay together.
Together, Sana is something so much more. It has not only revolutionized them as a group to the world, but also brought a sort of evolution to their own design thoughts and processes. To them, the understanding of architecture begins in part from thinking about how people use buildings and the profound relationship between people and architecture which informs their design approach. Architecture is dependent on how people use it. More often than not, the simple fact that people use space affects the decisive form of architecture's creative elements. And thus, Sana makes a statement. One that says, and so much more.